This is Rock. We're going to talk about combining the two functions of sort and unique and the benefits you can get from that. I've got some data here that I pulled from Wikipedia about the US national parks. This is what it looks like if you just paste the data. It brings in HTML format the pictures as well as the hyperlinks. But if you want to do some analysis on this data, you need to massage it, bring it in as text, and do a little bit of prepping of the data, which I've done here, and I've got some filters here. We've got these different states as locations. And I want to ask the question, which state has the most acreage of US national parks? So if we want to know that, we need to start with a list of the different states, which we have here in the location column. I'm going to use the sort and unique functions together here. So if I say equals sort and unique, and then I'm going to grab this array, which is the states, and it also includes territories. If I take that and hit enter, this has grabbed the whole list, removed duplicates so that it's unique, and then it's also sorted it. This is very handy. We've got a couple of problems here. One being that we have multiple US national parks that span more than one state or territory. In these cases, what are we going to do about that to see which one has the most area? I think we'll need to look at a map or somehow resolve those questions. But in the meantime, how do we make sure that we only have a list that has states or territories and not a combination as it is with California and Nevada here and North Carolina and Tennessee? Well, one thing we can do just to have a fast way to that data is wherever we have a comma, and let's just search for comma here. We've got these three. We can just make a copy of this and insert that copied cell. And then we'll do the same here for this one. And then the same for the last one. So ignore the things that are in column C. They're being driven by the array formula, so it's not aligning with the data on the right for now. But now that we've got these, we can make the change so that this first one represents California, and then the next one can be Nevada, so we take out one on each so that we've got a representation. The problem here is going to be that we're going to need to know which ones we need to modify to some sort of percentage. So what I want to do here is I'm going to put 50% just as a way to say we need to multiply 50% as the first guess for which one has more. Actually, if I bring this out, these are 3, so we need to make a copy of this one more time. And instead of 50%, that's going to be 33%. Let's do this. We'll take out Tennessee from this one. Take out North Carolina from this one. Take out those 3. Take out the beginning. And then for this one, we'll leave Idaho. And then here we'll say 0.333. Okay. So now, when I take this filter off, I've got just the list, and you see that automatically updated. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to total up the area here. But because I've got more than numbers here, I've got text that's saying acres. I'm going to copy this and insert this copied cells here, and then this one is going to be area with workable numbers here. And what I'm going to do is we'll use the text before and we'll use number value combined. So I'll say number value, and what we're trying to do is isolate the number that comes before acres here. So I'm going to click on this as the text, the delimiter, I'm going to have space, acres. And then if I take that all the way down, this gives me the acres I need. I'm going to go ahead and freeze that there so that when we scroll, we keep our column headers up there. All right, now that we've got the area in numbers of acres, we can do some math with it. So over here, I can do a sum if, but we also want to multiply. So let's put in a quick if statement. If this is blank, then do this, the number value. But if it's not blank, then multiply this number value by G9. In which case, we should have all the acreage, but for those where the acreage is shared, it'll be multiplied by that percentage. So for now, I'm just assuming, as I said, that I can say it's half and half. If we were really doing this, we would figure out what that percentage difference is. But for the illustration of how sort unique is and how to use it, I'm just going to stick with that. Now let's figure out total acreage. U.S. National Park. And here we can say equals sum if. We'll take this location range down to there. And we will make the criteria be this. And then the sum range is going to be the numbers of acres. And if I make that an absolute reference, hit enter, then this has the total acreage. And if I paste this down, then we have the total acreage. I'm going to make this more readable, and there we go. Then we can see that Alaska by far has the highest total number of acreage of U.S. national parks, followed next by California, which is something you might expect. And then we've got a lot also in Montana, Nevada, Florida, etc. The one with the least is Missouri. Of the ones mentioned here, there are quite a few, obviously, that are not mentioned in this list. There's only 32, which includes some non-states. So if I take out the non-states here in this count, which are American Samoa, the U.S. Virgin Islands, then that's 30 states. So we have 20 states that don't have U.S. national parks, and then we have 2 territories that do. So that's how to use sort and unique combined together. Next, we're going to be looking at using the auto filter in more detail. See you then.